So in this clip, I'll talk about frames. A ship's frame determines its size, its acceleration, how many prefabs it can have, how much hull it can have, its hit die, its minimum required rigging, and its AC. So the length and beam of a ship varies from a tug all the way through to a prelude class. A tug being quite small, only 10 foot, and a prelude class being 1600 feet long. The acceleration of a ship is also affected by its size. So a tug has the quickest acceleration and a prelude has the slowest. The prefabs that the frame can hold is also related to the size of the frame. So a tug can only have 4 prefabs on it, whereas a prelude can have up to 500 prefabs on it. The hull of the ship can be upgraded and added to, and the smallest frame only being able to install one hull, whereas the largest frames, the prelude class, can install up to 8 hulls, which can be thought of as encasing or shells or plating. The hit die of the frame is also determined by their size, and I will go over that in a later video. And then the rigging required to accelerate that frame. The rigging required will take up a higher amount of the ship's prefab space the bigger the frame is. So the larger frames require more rigging to get the same amount of acceleration. And the armor class of a ship is a little bit more difficult again, but I will break that down in a further clip. But each frame has a base armor class, and that actually drops the bigger the ship gets. So a tug starts with a base AC of 10, whereas a prelude class actually starts with a base AC of 0. Again, I'll break that down in another clip. So just to briefly go over it again, the size of a frame determines the amount of things that can clip into it, which are the prefabs, the amount of hulls that can be installed. The frame determines the hit die. The size of the frame also determines how much rigging is required, and the size of the frame determines the AC, the base AC of the ship. Acceleration also is determined by the frame.